welcome to HRL Season 9. This is round number 4 of Week 2. Going to be starting up here. Latvia RX is the first RX of 3 in the season. A lot of you may recognize this rallycross from last season, Season 7. As always, a few minor changes here and there, so let's go through those. So as you can see in the final corner here, obviously this is quite a bit different. Huge berm around the outside and some bumps around the inside. Joker's all the same. The gate is no longer placed over there. The gate is now right over here. So now no need for, like before we would use this corner on the first lap instead of the chicane. Now there's no need for that, as the gate is placed over here in like a perfect spot where it just works out, so you can use the chicane every lap. This whole sand section has seen some remodeling. It's pretty similar. I mean, this part's just different in the way that it's banked. That's about it. But then once you get over here is where it gets really different. Quite a unique sand section compared to what we had before. Leading into this sand section, which is pretty similar. The inside isn't as cheesy as it used to be, but other than that, pretty similar. And then from that point, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all the changes. So, results in the heats. Top 3 the first heat was Luke, then Juns, then Detail, and top 3 in the second heat was Real Deal, then Phil, and Vulcan. So going along the starting gate, you're retarded, Roman. Real Deal, Luke, Phil, and I believe Juns, right? Yeah. Why does his? I think his armor got cheesed. I swear he did not have that helmet, but yeah, that's weird. Anyways, Phil and Juns are gonna be here. This is Phil's first race in I don't even know how long. Was it it's either season 6 grand finals or maybe like season 7 regular season. I think season 6 grand finals, but that's off the top of my head. And then this is Jun's first HRL race, like probably since Halo Reach or something like that, so that's pretty crazy. Then we go down the second row. We have Vulcan, Detail, Hunter, and Sherrod along the outside. Sherrod the goat, and Fireball and Slaunch in the back row. Gate's already set and ready to drop. Oh, that's really loud. I'll turn it down for me. I still think it'll play audio for the stream, right? Yeah, I think so. I think we're good. And we're green. It's a 40 lap race, and one minor difference to the rallycross races is now you have to use the Joker twice instead of once. So look out for that during the race. You're going to see all these drivers take 2 Jokers instead of 1, hopefully. That's the goal. Already quite a bit of cheese through the first section. That new sand section is going to be pretty rough inside of a pack. We already have Hunter on the first lap. Oh my god, Jared almost just went over. Hunter already taken his Joker. Looks like Real Deal's going to lead the field down on the first lap. And remember, this is a 40 lap race, so it is going to take quite a while. I mean, it's the same length as all the other races, but 40 laps on this track does seem like a lot when you're racing it, even though it ends up being the same time as like a 20 lap Salt Lake race. Whoa, that was close right there. Nice two-way battles. Okay, looks like Juns is going to take his Joker, Phil as well. So I think Hunter might also take his second. Yeah, that seemed like what he's doing. So a lot of Joker usages already within the first 2 laps. So front 2 has pretty much worked out to be Real Deal and Luke with a pretty solid gap. Then 3, 4, looks like we have Fireball, and I would say that's either Slaunch or Vulcan. I think it might be, let's check actually. I think it's Vulcan. Oh, looks like Detail spins out on the edge of that new sand section. Has a tough time recovering as well. God, these trees are conking me. That's going to take a while to recover from. I think we have Vulcan here taking his first Joker, and Jared as well. So I think Hunter's the only person to take 2 Jokers so far, but we've had a lot of people take 1. Oh, that was crazy in the chicane right there. But yeah, all these early Joker usages is going to make this race very interesting, because like all those people taking their Joker early, it's a slower Joker on this track. It's not a shortcut. So all those people taking it early are going to go way, way back compared to the front of the field. So you see the top 3, which all have not taken a Joker yet, and I think Slaunch in 4th also hasn't. Yeah, you see they're all going to be like very far ahead, but once they take their jokers, that might not be the case, at least as much. I think Vulcan taking his second already, and Phil as well. God, I wish people would wait longer. It's a 40-lap race, and it's like 5 laps in, and everybody's already taken all their jokers. Looks like still pretty close for the front 2 spots, but Fireball's worked himself into a pretty secure 3rd place. Doesn't really... I mean, he's got quite a bit of a gap to go in front of him. He's got quite a bit of a gap behind him. He's pretty safe and solid where he's at. Then you have Slaunch in 4th, but you also have to think that he has not taken any jokers yet, so that's going to mix things up. I think we have Juns there, currently in the top 5, but he, off the top of my head, I think he's only taken one so far. Let's get an update on the checkpoints. So we are hitting, I believe Phil's lap counter is wrong, so I think that when Real Deal hits the line here, then we're going to be on lap 6. And I think Phil's one ahead. And Fireball, let's see how this evens out. He's going to still have 3rd place. And remember, that is with him taking 1 joker already. So we know that he has, at least so far, a pretty good advantage on Slaunch because Fireball's taking a joker and he's still out in front of him. So he's definitely... Even though he didn't, I don't think he got to race his heats, he's still looking pretty solid here in the feature. He definitely got a good start. That's going to help him a ton. Ooh, what's that battle right there? I think Hunter here trying to work down Juns. Let's see what he can do. Running different lines, gotta love it. And you can see that that line that Hunter opts to take gets you a bit more of an advantage into the corner, but then once you run the inside's faster than it used to be, but it's still pretty slow. So it ends up evening out towards the end of it. Ooh, that was a pretty rough chicane run. I actually thought Hunter was going to hit the pole. That could have been bad. Is this Vulcan here? I think this is Vulcan. And Vulcan, again, off the top of my head, I believe he's taken both of his jokers. So that's one thing that you need to keep in mind when watching Vulcan here is some of these other people. I think Hunter's also taken both of his, but I don't think Detail's taken any. And I think Juns has only taken 1, so Vulcan's a little bit farther ahead of them than he would appear on the track. Like, realistically, you know, accounting for the jokers, Vulcan's basically ahead of Detail here. He might even be close with Fireball and Slaunch, honestly. Maybe. But they're still having a pretty good battle for 3rd. And it seems like these front 2 pairs of 2 are in a pretty good position to have some battles. That seems to be what it is on track. There's like a bunch of pairs of 2 right now. But yeah, literally, everybody's in pairs of 2. It's kind of weird. But still quite a bit of racing to go. I think we're almost hitting a quarter of the way through the race. Let's check. Yeah, so yeah, I think this lap, Bildo is going to hit lap number 10, which will put us a quarter of a way through. So there it is, 10 completed. And he's already got 10 laps led, so I'm curious how long Real Deal's going to wait here to use his joker, because he's just clicking off laps led like it's nothing, and that's definitely going to help his point situation. Now, the most laps led bonus point this season when compared to the Oval season, have to remember that it's not as big of a bonus as it was. So in the Oval Series, if you led a lap, you got 1 bonus point, and if you led the most laps, you got 2 bonus points entirely just off of that. So in total, for leading the most laps, it would be 3 bonus points. Ooh, that could have been bad. In total, it would be 3 bonus points for leading the most laps of the race, because of course, if you led the most laps, then you led a lap. So that's how that would work out. Now this season, it's just 1 bonus point for leading a lap and 1 bonus point added for leading the most laps. So it's 2 total, which again, it is only a difference of 1 point. But this season, a lot of the points battles so far seem like they're going to be pretty close all the way to the end. So that 1 point really could be a difference maker. I mean, it's obviously not guaranteed, but that 1 extra point definitely could be a difference maker this season, I would think, as opposed to the Oval Series where, I don't know, things just got mixed up quite a bit. And this is Jared. So Real Deal must have taken his first joker here, and Luke decided to stay out. So this is Jared getting put a lap down here. Rip Jared. So that'll be, well, I guess Real Deal, so that means Luke must have led the last lap. So Real Deal ended up having a run of about 10 or 11 or so laps led. But now Luke's going to take his joker, and let's see how they work out. This should be pretty close. Oh, Realdo's going to have the run around the outside. This is going to be too wide. This actually worked out really well. Too wide into the chicane. And it looks like Luke's going to have the advantage so far. So that actually worked out really well. That was one of the better exit of the Joker battles that I've seen, so that was pretty dope. That's always what you hope for on an RX, is to have that type of battle. This is nice too. We have the opposite lines. And you see Realdo's line, like, if you run it side by side, Realdo's line there is definitely going to lose out. But if you run it solo and you're able to get up to the outside, Realdo's line is a little bit, well, I don't know if I'd say it's better than the other line, but it's better than you made it look, I guess you could say. And there's Realdo taking his second Joker, and he's got Fireball right behind him. Now, what I'm curious about is if Fireball's taken both of his. I know he's taken one. I'm going to go ahead and say that he's holding out and that he hasn't taken his second one, but I could be wrong. Slaunch fell back, but that could have been a mistake. I don't know if he took his Joker as well. So I'm not entirely sure on Fireball and Slaunch's Joker situation. We'll have to wait and see. And there's Luke taking his second Joker as well. So this is going to work out potentially pretty close again, but no, actually gaining quite a bit of a gap on that one. So still holding the lead, and that's going to bleed into Realdo's lead laps a little bit, but there's still quite a bit of racing to go. Different lines being ran there. Realdo and Slaunch going for the jump line, and Luke and Fireball both opting not to go for it. And the jump line does look pretty strong, but it's really not that much stronger than the other normal lines. Plus, people screwed up. I mean, you'll see it during the race. People screw that line up a ton, and it happens pretty much to everybody at least once. So, over the course of time, the consistency may be worth it. It's really just a judgment call. Still in pairs of two, though, and I am curious about everybody's Jokers, but I'm not 100% sure, so we're just going to watch and see what happens. Okay, there it is. So, yeah, Fireball. So I would assume then that Slaunch also has, I'm guessing he took one Joker and he still has another one to take, but Fireball there just takes his second one. So Fireball's all done on his Jokers. I'd say most people on track are done with their Jokers. Maybe not everybody, and Realdo also took the lead there, so that must have been a nice move out of him. I honestly got distracted. But that was, this is going to be interesting. I think Slaunch is the only person with a Joker usage left. I could be wrong, but I think so. I know the front two plus Fireball are all done with it, as far as I'm aware. But Realdo, what lap is it? Okay, so he's going on to 18. So retaking the lead fairly quickly. And if he can hold this lead for like another 10 laps or so, he might be set up. Oh, that was some conkage there. Detail trying to get by Juns. Just not having the best race. Now Vulcan's catching up as well. And he might actually, Detail might actually have his Joker usages left, so forgot about that. Yeah, if Realdo can get another really good run here and lead the next like 5 to 10 laps, he would be pretty well set for that most laps led. So there it is. Now we're going to watch this because Fireball and Slaunch should be pretty close here. Slaunch taking his second Joker, and as we saw, Fireball just took his second one, so it's going to be close. Fireball on the run. Slaunch trying to get into him, but Fireball gonna hold it into the chicane, and that was a pretty brave move, but it pays off. It's always scary going into the chicane too wide. Easy to back off, but if you can decide not to back off and decide to go for it and pull it off, it's usually worth it. Ooh, that could have been close. Oh my god, Fireball almost crashes too. So still a pretty good battle here. For third and fourth, and again, like the pairs thing continues. I mean, it's even kind of going on in the middle of the pack as well. Something must have happened to Junts, because now Detail's ahead of him, and Vulcan has also gotten by him. We also have like a three-way pack. Well, I think Jared's getting lapped, but Phil and Hunter are fairly close. It's kind of weird how that's like continued all throughout the race. It's like pairs of two all throughout the track, except for Jared. He's like the Lone Ranger right now. Rip Jared. Oh, my Dougler's barking. Rip. I don't think. You shouldn't be able to hear it. She's downstairs. No way. Actually, maybe a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's check. I think okay, so we just passed the halfway point. So now we're only 19 laps left into the race, starting to get pretty close to crunch time. And this lead battle is heating up. It is pretty close. The nice thing about this lead battle, and I think that the same thing applies to Fireball and Slaunch's battle as well, is that they're not running the exact same line. Like if you watch this lead battle, you'll see that Realdo and Luke both run pretty different lines throughout many different sections in the track. Like maybe 2 or 3 different sections they run at least slightly different lines. So it's not like it's just follow the leader here. There's a few different options that you could take. Like right here, they definitely run the sand section quite differently, pretty much all throughout it. Real Deal opting for that jump line. That sand they run pretty similar for the rest of it as well, but the entirety, like from when that sand starts to when it turns into the old sand section, they pretty much run that entire thing differently. And this is where it's going to get juicy. We got lap traffic coming up here. I might just go on board, honestly, with Real Deal. So he's got to work his way by Jared, but he's also got to work his way by Hunter and potentially Phil soon as well. And you got Luke right behind. So this is going to be a big moment in the race for Real Deal. How is he going to work his way by the lap traffic? Oh, that could have been bad. That was close. Hunter staying really high there. Definitely would have been scared if I was Real Deal, but he ends up able to hold on to it. I mean, if he went over that berm, that probably would have been a race for him. Who knows how many positions he could have lost off that. So now he's going to go for it again. See how he can get by Hunter. Going to go for the jump line. And gets the outside. And should be good to go. And Hunter like spins out at the end of it as well. So Luke's also going to take over Hunter. And the next person they have to worry about is Phil, which they still have quite a bit of a way to go to catch up to Phil. So that'll settle out for a little bit. Phil, I think, was in a battle there with like Hunter and Jared, but with the leaders coming to lap him, that pretty much gave Phil an opportunity, and he now gained a ton of time on Hunter, so that could be huge for his race. You can see on the side detail going down again. Just not having the best race. That means that Vulcan's definitely got to be, I think Vulcan might be top 5. And actually they might be catching up to Phil faster than I thought. So let's go back on board. Remember, we're going to be hitting, so we're going to be lap 26 here. Lap 26. And yeah, I think that, what position would Vulcan be in? I think he's going to be in 5th. So Vulcan looking pretty strong again. He had a pretty good week 1. Trying to keep that momentum going into week 2. Oh, this is getting close. This is going to be big with Phil coming up. Should be very soon. Again, like they're really close to Phil. Maybe this next upcoming lap here. Yeah, I'm thinking Real Deal should catch up to Phil this lap. We'll see. Oh, look at the run out of the chicane. That was crazy. So here we go. If he's going to make massive gains, this would be the section to do it. But Phil actually ran it pretty good that time. Looks like, oh, that jump though was not the best, and this should be it. That should be it right there. Yep. Real Deal's just going to go right around the outside. It may give Real Deal a little bit of a buffer though, because now Luke's got to get by Phil. But it wasn't too bad, so that may continue on into their battle. They've been pretty close all race, even though there hasn't been like too much position swapping. So let's get an update on 3rd and 4th. As you can see, Fireball and Slaunch now just getting by Jared. And Hunter is coming up soon, but Fireball has opened up a bit of a gap over the last few laps. And what happened to Real Deal? Cheese on the front stretch. We'll have to look at a replay of that. And Goose Hijack. And now Fireball takes the lead with only, well, let's take a look. 9 laps remaining. So hold on. Let's see what happened. Is this, no, this is incorrect, isn't it? Next lap? No, this might be it. So Real Deal running the exit of the corner, very high in the berm. And when he rejoins onto the track, that happens. So yeah, that was dope. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to explain that, but that's yeah. I mean, it does. I guess it makes sense. No, it doesn't. So did it already happen? Okay, let's look at that again in normal speed. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't get it. He definitely ran higher on the berm than you're supposed to before you exit, but like still, that is pretty cheesy. Oh my god. And now with that collision, that could possibly cost him the race. Because Fireball's been there the entire time. But now he finally might be able to take the win, which is crazy because Fireball had like I said, Fireball had a terrible week 1. And definitely looking to bounce back here week 2. And he was looking strong with a 3rd place, like potentially getting a podium position. But now the opportunity has just been given to him to take this win, and now he's got to try to hold on to it for another, I think at the stripe here, I think it's 8 laps. So after all that running in 3rd of like not having any chance to go for the win, now this is it, and Fireball does definitely have a shot at taking the W here, which would be huge because, like I said, after a terrible week 1, if he could steal a win here at Latvia, that would put him back in the game. Really, that would put him right back where he needs to be. So a win can do wonders for your season, even if it's just 1. Obviously, if you can rag up multiple, that'll help you out a ton. But if you can just get 1 win, I mean, we saw that with Sector. Like, that gave him such a huge points boost. So we're going to watch this. We're going to see, can Real Dylan Luke make the climb and get back up to Fireball? I mean, if there was a ton of time left, like 25 laps, maybe this would be doable. But I think 7 at the line here, so that's not that much time for this track. They would have to be on point for these laps. And on top of that, Fireball would have to... would definitely have to screw up a couple times, so. And let's check it. Okay, we're at 6 to go. And as you can tell right there, I mean, I know Fireball hasn't been running the jump line much, but even Real Dill and Luke both opting for the jump line at this point because they know they need every ounce of speed possible to potentially get back up there. But Fireball's going to run it safe, 5 to go. And that might be able to secure it for him because if he runs it safe, then there's not too much time. Like, there's only so much time that can be gained. Unless he, like, hits a pole in the chicane or something like that. Runs it safe yet again. Is catching up to, nice tree. Is catching up to lap traffic, though. He's got Phil right there, but it's looking like it's not going to affect him very much. Yeah, that pretty much lost him 0 time, so lap traffic not affecting him at all. So there's the gap. And again, like I said, if this is like 20 or 25 laps to go, maybe workable, but with this amount of time, not quite sure about it. In the line here, it's going to be 3 to go for Fireball. So yeah, at this point, it's basically going to come down to the poles. The only way Fireball could lose this is if, well, I mean, I guess if he did the thing that Real Dill did, I guess that would hurt him. But the chicane is really what you got to watch out for because he's running. You can tell he's running the rest of the track pretty safe. So the only way I could see him losing this is if he hits a pole in the chicane. Now coming down on the line with 2 to go. Fireball potentially taking the dub here at Latvia. That was a clean chicane run. And I mean, if I was him, I honestly wouldn't even be taking the chicane full speed. I mean, that's a pretty sizable gap. Oof. And this is another big factor, too. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much over, but Fireball was able to get by Phil completely clean, whereas Real Dill Luke definitely got held up a little bit by Phil, or at least more so than Fireball. So that just really puts the nail in the coffin. Now here we come, white flag. And again, let's see how he takes it. I mean, honestly, I would just let off, but pretty safe chicane run there, and that'll probably seal it. only about half the track remaining. And going around the final corner, that's going to be it. Fireball is going to take his first win of the season here at Latvia. Rildo's going to hold on to second. Luke third, Slaunch fourth, and that's Lapper Phil. And Lapper Hunter. Quite a big gap from the top four, so this will be a second. Vulcan's going to hold on to fifth. Detail sixth, then John seventh. And then rest of our results. Phil is going to take home 8th, Hunter 9th, and Jared 10th. And the team win for that race will definitely go to Elite's Ponytail, the team of Fireball and Hunter. Even though Hunter didn't have the best performance, getting a win can really help out your chances at the team win. So yeah, again, even though Hunter not the best race there, Fireball taking the win definitely kind of carried the load there. But there you go. So mixing up this season even more, Fireball able to take a win here at Latvia, and that's going to put him. I mean, he's still going to need some more good performances to get back to where he wants to be, but it's going to put him in a better position, I guess I could say, to get back into those like top spot points battles. It's going to take a few more a couple more podiums for sure, and top fives for the rest of the season, but I'd say it's a good start.